We're going to create a brush cleansing palette. I'm going to show you how to use one that's already got some texture on it, and I'm going to show you how to make one out of things you have at home. Okay. Before I would take to clean my brushes, which needs to be done quite frequently, what I would do is I would take some little cup of water, okay, and I always use the Paw Mitchell's Tea Tree special shampoo because the tea tree helps kill the bacteria. It smells great. So I would take a little bit of that soap or shampoo, put it in my palm. My brush was wet, and I would do circular rotations on my palm. I would see all the color coming out, and I would rinse it in the sink, and I would squeeze it out until all of the soap was gone, and I would continue that pattern until I saw clear suds, meaning no blush color or eyeshadow color on the suds, and the water was clear whenever I dipped it in my little container. That meant my brush was clean. But just to give me a little extra help whenever I'm cleaning my brushes, one thing that you could do, you go to Home Depot, Lowe's, a hardware store, some sort of tile store, a hobby store possibly, and you can get one of these little sample tiles, or you can buy one, and this one's metal, and it already has the texture on there. Okay, so you can get one with texture, or you can get just a plain flat, no texture piece. It could be small, big, round, rectangular, whatever you like. I tried taking the sticker off of this, but it took too long and I don't have time for that, so I just left it on. But definitely making sure there's no paper on here, because then it'll just, get in the way later on. So this particular one, I'm going to show you how to use this one. So what you do is you put a little bit of your either brush cleanser, shampoo, or whatever you choose to clean your brushes with. You dip your brush in the water, okay, and then you're going to do your circular rotations. You can go up and down going against the texture of your palette, okay, and you're going to see, and you want to make sure not to really get in there and smush your brush in there, because then you're going to fray your bristles out. You have to be gentle with it. So it's just going to give you a better clean to your brushes. And you can see the suds. This is a blush brush, and so you can see the suds turning kind of a pinkish color. Okay, and so of course I would be doing this over the sink, so my water wouldn't get, I'd have clean water every time. So dipping my brush in there, however, there's different methods of cleaning brushes. And so you can rinse or wipe your palette off and do it again until your suds are nice and clean and clear. So that's one way to use this textured palette. Now the good thing about this textured palette and it being metal is that you can disinfect, sanitize, sterilize, and all that good stuff. It can be plastic, it can be glass, and it can be metal. Definitely not paper, obviously, because it'll get wet with the water. So let's say that you aren't able to find something like this. You can just get a piece of plastic, glass, or metal, okay, because I'm going to show you how to do the texture piece to it. And then you can use just that piece of the flatness and add your glue gun or your glue stick to it. Whenever we put this to the side, make sure to get the tablecloth wet or dirty. So we're going to put that to the side. This here is just a plastic lid, okay? And in this plastic lid, it's just a Tupperware. Make sure it's not your mom's. Good Tupperware, okay? If you get mad. But you create texture on the Tupperware. Now I use the inside of the lid because if I wanted to do something like this to where I collect water, add my shampoo or cleanser or whatnot, and then take my brushes and then clean them in here, then I could do that. If I were to use the top side, then the water will run off. So it's just whatever, you decide to do. So the good thing about, I guess the bad thing about it is it's a glue stick, gets glue gun. The longevity of it is not very good compared to something like this, that this texture doesn't come off. But you definitely are able to create it without having to spend a lot of money or going out searching for something like this. Okay, if your mom gets mad at you for using the Tupperware, the good thing about this is that you can just literally peel it off, okay? So it works the same as this, and I'll show you. So I already peeled it off a little bit, but you're going to take a little bit of your shampoo or cleanser. You're going to add, of course, you always want to use clean water. You're gonna add some of the water onto your brush, and then you're gonna go sideways. And this is a concealer brush, so you can definitely see the concealer color coming out. Okay, and so that texture that you've created, you're definitely going to be able to get a better clean with your brush. Okay, and again, being very careful whenever you're not really driving your brush in there. You don't want to ruin the bristles. Okay, so you're going to continue this. You can rinse this out. The glue dries kind of like plastic, so it's not going to fall off immediately or anything of the sort. And if it does fall off, the good thing about it is that, you just peel it off and you make a new one. Okay, it is plastic, so you can clean it, you can sanitize it, all that good stuff. Okay, once you clean it, nice and dry, sanitize it and all, then you can create another one. If you didn't like the first pattern, let's say you messed up, let's say instead of the rectangular pattern, you want to do polka dots, or you want to do stars or squares or hearts or whatever, that's fine. They also have, if you want to get fancy with it, they have glue sticks that are colored and that are glittery and neon and all these other crazies. But if you want to get fancy with it, you can. Okay, so every time you always want to make sure to squeeze your brush out, and if there's clear water and no suds coming out, then you're good. What you want to do is take a towel, you want to lay down all of your nice clean brushes that have no more soap or shampoo on them. Lay them down. Come back in a few minutes, change out the towels, flip them over to the other side to make sure they're nice and clean. Always making sure never store them like this so that the water doesn't drip down into your glue and ruin your brushes. You always want to store them upside down or on their belly. Okay. You can use a little bit of conditioner to smooth out your brush bristles, okay? Or if you're not into that, you can just use the water that's left in your brush to smooth out your brush, give it a nice edge, so that way it gives you a nice brush whenever it's finished drying. You don't ever want to, let's just say that you washed your brush and this is the brush, okay? You don't ever want to just leave it like that, because that is how it's going to be when it's dried. It's just like hair, okay? So whenever you put wet hair in a ponytail and you take it down, then you have this crazy line of demarcation and dent and all this crazy stuff. So you don't want to do that to your brushes. You want to treat them good so they last you a long time. So I'm going to show you how to create this here. So what you want to do is, when you take your glue gun, you want to make sure that your glue gun is nice and clean on the edge. Okay, the magazine is so that if you drip on your glue gun, if it drips, it doesn't drip on your tablecloth, carpet, whatever. Okay, so you're going to take your Tupperware or your metal, plastic, or glass piece, okay? And let's say you do it on the metal piece, and of course you want to make sure you have that sticker off. I'm going to do a small, very gentle wiggle line. And I want to go over it twice just to really give me, maybe even 3 times, I just did 3, just to give me some definite 3D action going on, okay? Just so that way I can really get that divot from the glue stick. All right, so same thing here. Let's say that you want to make dots, okay? You want to make sure that they're nice and tall, just to make sure to give you that 3D action, and so that your brush cleans nice. You're going to continue until your space is filled. You can do dots, and then let's say that you want to do lines. You can do that as well. And let me reload my glue gun here. Any little hairs that the glue gun leaves behind, don't worry about it. Once it dries, you can take care of that and pull them off. So then you're going to go over it, make sure it's nice and thick. Again, if you're picky in particular, take your time with it and really create a nice, smooth, clean, straight line. If you don't like the pattern, let it dry, give it a second, and then you can peel it off and create a new one. Okay, so there you go. You have your polka dots, you have your lines. Again, you can connect your rectangles. You can draw with a Sharpie marker of whatever color. You can draw wherever you want your glue to sit down. You can, again, do it on plastic, metal, or glass. Okay. So that is how you create your textured brush cleaning palette.